Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the video. We are leaving. Man, it's actually been um 17 days since I had a last load. That's insane, right? 17 days since I rolled out last. The only reason why I know is because I'm looking at my logs. I got 17 unassigned logs. So that's insane, man. But anyway, we're rolling. We got a dry box behind us. We heading to Salt Lake. Let's go.
Hey, all work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly.
Okay, man, let's get this vlog started. Hey, first off, let me just say this, right? If you guys been watching the vlog for a while, you know I always talk about you have to listen to your truck. Listen to what your truck is telling you, okay? So for the past a year and a half, right, I've been pulling an open deck, okay? And you get used to the kind of sounds the truck makes when you're loaded and when you're empty and things like that, right? So when you're pulling freight and things like that. So like I'm pulling a van on this thing. I haven't pulled a van on this thing in a while. So I can see such a big difference in how much I appreciate pulling a dry box, man, because there is no wind resistance and she is just humming down the road, man, just humming. So I love it because she's not really like working hard. And I'm looking at my boost, which also I still gotta do a freaking review on. I'm looking at my boost, and this boost is amazing, man. It's staying under 15. I mean, yeah, we got like 18K in the box, right? And that's it. Right? Not a whole lot, but yeah, it's amazing. I have driven this section of the road so many times, and never will I ever get tired of this view, you know. So this is the I-15, right? This is the Arizona side. We're going northbound right now, heading towards Utah. So this is the, what do they call this? The Virgin something River? Virgin Gorge River something? But anyway, yeah. I never get tired of looking at this. I see a lot of people like they usually like go in here, they try to go in here and just try to ride through here so fast. And like there's no need to, man. Just enjoy the view, right? So anyway, so I was the reason why I have my gauge here, right? My AC gauge here. Well, temperature gauge on the thing. So uh, this thing, ever since I picked it up, it's always had a small leak on the condenser side, right? On the hot side that's going out of the condenser, or into the condenser, I should say. But yeah, it's always had a small leak, but the AC has always worked. So I said, you know what, man, forget that. I'm leaving it. And even like when we were working on it, Vic was like, wow, it's leaking, but your AC is still working. I said, yeah, man. So I'm leaving it alone. And that was like a, over a year ago, right? And it was still working. The AC was still working. So I just left it alone. And finally, about a couple weeks ago, about a week ago, yeah. About a week ago, it was like, oh man, that AC is no longer working. So I checked the gauges. I plugged in my gauges and checked it. And sure enough, it was like, it was really low on Freon. So I added 2 pounds into it. And now I'm able to bring down the temperature to about 50. So I'm leaving it alone, you know. And that was a week ago. I added 2 pounds. And it's still pushing at 50, at the vent. So that's really good. See, the reason why I don't want to open it is because, see, the thing with AC, it's all about dry, right? It has to be dry. The system has to be dry for it to work properly. Okay, so when you open it, you have to evacuate it, and then you gotta vacuum it to where it's so dry that you know it needs to be really really dry of moisture for it to work properly. I mean, for you to achieve the kind of results that you want to see from an AC, right? For it to work effectively, I should say. So, anyway, that's why I don't want to open it, because as soon as you open it, more than likely I'll have to do because I don't know the history of this AC compressor. So more than likely I'll have to replace the AC compressor, the condenser, the air dryer, and the expansion valve, just to be on the safe side, because as soon as you open it, you got to do a lot of these things before to put it back together, or else you're going to be coming back to it and doing the same thing over again. So it's best to do it that way. When you're working with AC, or when you're having issues with your AC, it's best to do it that way. Just go ahead and automatic. Maybe the AC compressor not as much as an automatic thing to replace, but as far as like condenser, the air dryer, and more the expansion valve, because those get clogged, right? Especially the expansion valve. So anyway, yeah, like 2 pounds, man. I added 2 pounds. It's actually about a half a pound low, because when I was checking it at uh, over there in Vegas, right, it was about 92 degrees outside, and it's really dry in Vegas. So about 92 degrees, and it was the gauges. My high side was good, but my low side was showing a little low. It was only like around 45. So I want to see that that current temperature. I want to see that at about 50. So yeah, it's just a little low. I think it's probably another half a pound low. But other than that, she's working perfect. Another thing I want to talk about is trucking, right? Trucking in general. See, the thing about trucking is, truck drivers, I should say, is the turnover rate is so ridiculous, man. So it's like, I think it's almost, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's 100% turnover rate. So what that means is, like, people get hired and they quit right away. Hire, quit, right? Hire, quit, hire, quit. That's like the thing with trucking. You know what I mean? When company drivers get hired, especially the new ones. Look at this idiot. Wow. Stay in your lane, man. Anyway, so but there was a guy, right, where I picked up this load. He couldn't back up. He told me, I think he kind of told me that he's only been driving for 3 weeks. Okay. So I said, hey, no problem, right? So he couldn't back up. It took him a long time to try to back up into the hole. Okay. Granted, the area was a little tight. Okay. So I was like, hey, man, I'll come out there after I got loaded. I said, hey, man, you need help? You want me to try to help you back it in there? He said, yeah, sure. So I was in there trying to help. While I was trying to help him, he was telling me that he's only been, like, with this company for 3 weeks, and then he told me that, like, the AC on his truck has been out since. I was like, what? Are you serious, man? And I'm talking about, like, this guy is driving between Phoenix and Vegas, right? And sometimes into Southern California. You're talking about an average temperature out here or in the area of freaking 100, and you're telling me you ain't got no AC? So, and that's why it's like, wow, it's so crazy, man. And it just, that's why your turnover rate, with truck drivers is so high, because of bad companies like that. You know what I mean? Like, bad people. They just don't take care of their drivers. If the driver is complaining about a freaking AC and it's 100 degrees outside, you better go take care of that. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of felt really bad for him. And another thing is, like, another thing about truck drivers, like, look at this guy. Like, how do they not stay in their lane? Anyway, another thing about truck drivers, right? So he's only been driving for 3 weeks. I get it. and he's also new. I get it. So I was in there trying to help him, and I tell him, turn the wheel this way. At first, I told him, listen, banking is all about your setup, okay? You look at your situation, look how much space you have, and then you set it up properly. You're gonna get it in there as long as you take it easy, okay? So uh, I told him, okay, let's restart. And then I told him how to, properly set his truck and trailer based on what we got working with room wise, okay? And and I tell him, okay, turn the wheel this way and stop. And the freaking guy just keeps turning the doggone wheel, so we keep losing the dog. I was like, listen, man, you have to listen. Turn the wheel this way, stop right there. Until I turn you to turn it again, don't turn it. And that's like, you know what I mean? That's another thing that the trait. That's another trait that most truck drivers have. Is a lot of truck drivers have a bad rep, man. Really, I and you can understand why we are considered like, bastard child or whatever, right? However you want to look at it, but yeah, I would say this guy was definitely in that category. I mean, good guy, man, really good guy. It's just that he uh, he had a little bit of a hard time listening. So, but and I was thinking the whole time, right? I was like, man, it's so doggone hot out here. You better start listening, or else I'm leaving your ass. Well, here we are. We're gonna take that 30. We're gonna take us a 30-minute break. So we drove 3 hours and 44 minutes straight. We're exactly halfway from here to Salt Lake City. This is Beaver, Utah. Beaver, right? Yeah, it should be exactly halfway. But yeah, we're almost there, halfway through. Oh yeah, let me show you. Let me show you something that's going on with the trailer, right? I kind of gave Parker a little bit of a hard time, and I think that's kind of not fair. But there's see one thing about me, right? When it comes to equipment, I think it's because I'm mechanically inclined that I see things and I predict things, you know what I mean? And I assume things, that something is gonna go down or something is gonna go wrong. So just like this one right here, right? Um, Look at this tire. This tire, I know on the book it says it has to be across, right? It's 2/32, right? All the way across. And this tire right here, we're having an issue with this tire. Um, what you call it? I'm guessing it's probably a maybe the bearings need to be reset or something like that. They need to be repacked or reset, readjusted, something like that because it's doing this weird wear. And it could also be because, this particular trailer has just one shock in the middle. It's a little bit of an older trailer, right? It's an '07. Um, and it looks like the bearings are actually grease bearings. They don't. It looks like the axle doesn't have oil inside. The hub doesn't have oil. But here's the thing that I saw that I thought I was thinking that was gonna have some issues. You see how many washers there are in there? There's one, two, three, four, five. I thought there was only four, but there's actually five washers in there. So, me being a mechanic, right? Me knowing the mechanical things of this, the engineering of this, right? How this thing works, right? From from here all the way, from your slack adjuster all the way to your S cam, into the brake chamber. That I'm thinking there's something going on inside there, right? Now, there could not, I might be wrong, which I probably am, because Parker said he's been using this and he's had no issue. So, and at first I was telling him, man, I don't think I want to take this trailer and I want to ride with this trailer. But I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? It shouldn't be that bad. You know what I mean? Um, so, yeah. I mean, like me, if it was my trailer, and I told Parker already that I would definitely open that up and take a look inside. I think he had this trailer, not like maybe a year. I don't know, but he's had this trailer and he told me he put in some new floors on it, right? And but maybe he has never opened that. You know what I mean? So no leaks, right? No leaks on the wheel seals. Everything is good. One thing I do see is like right here. You see that, right? This part right here, and then you see this, right? It's. I think this one is put on. It needs to be on the inside. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's just a guide, right? It's just a guide for uh, for your slack adjuster. That's all that is, But other than that, I don't see nothing, no major issue, except for maybe a couple of the lines that need to be, you know, uh, brought up a little bit, or zip tied up, secured a little bit differently, But other than that, trailer rides fine, As a matter of fact, this trailer rides pretty doggone straight. So I'm, it's surprisingly for as old as it is, you know what I mean? A little bit of moisture. One thing about this trailer that's tripping me out is these lights right here. They work really well though. They really do. Uh, the reason why it's tripping me out because you don't usually see these type of lights on the trailer, at least on the semi trailer. So um, they're aftermarket for sure. It's something probably happened within here, and then they had to redo that whole thing. So they just put these lights on there. I mean, they work. They work perfectly. All right, let's get back to it. Break time is over. We are only actually 200 miles from our delivery. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I wanted to talk about uh, there's some things that
In 800 feet, turn left onto 300 west.
okay. There's some things that I do that are just reflex, right? Out of my control. Um, I was actually able to get a video of it that I saluted the American flag, the one that was waving. I'm gonna pop up the video right now. As a matter of fact, we got one right here, and she's kind of not flying. She's kind of like wrapped around the pole. I hope they fix that. And as I was saying, right, it's a reflex, right? Um, Let me go back to, like, normally I don't talk too much about my military service in this vlog. I do every now and then, and when something comes up or something comes to mind, and it pops up, and then I think about it, and I tell you guys a story, Um, but a lot of people, there's so many people that has asked me before. It's like, why'd you join? You know, and the short answer is like, I have no freaking clue. I really don't. Uh, I have no clue why I joined, but I can tell you the day I left the service why I joined. And that is because when in the military, man, like, you will never, like, military is a family, right? It becomes family. Everybody in there becomes family. Now, the thing about it is that um, the most broken family that you will ever see, you know. But I tell you, it's freaking amazing. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, Vic and I, Vic and I was like he was my boss in Korea, right? But we were never like really, really that close. But one thing I can guarantee you, if I call on Vic, he's on the way. Vice versa, you know. And that's what I mean. It's like it's a broken family, right? Um, as a matter of fact, sometimes it's even better than blood family, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salt Lake City. Well, we're not exactly in Salt Lake City just yet. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're only 48 miles from the delivery. That's not bad. That's not bad. This is why I don't mind this lane, you know, or this, yeah, this lane. Vegas to Salt Lake. I just wish that Salt Lake was a lot better market when it comes to open deck. That's one of my wish lists. And that's why when I'm coming from Vegas and I a load coming to Salt Lake, man, let me tell you, I try to make as much money as I can coming in. So speaking of rates, right? I don't think I've talked about it yet. This load paid $1,900 to go from Vegas to Salt Lake. Is exactly in the west side of Salt Lake City. So in the industrial area. I'm guessing this load is going to the airport. It says Delta CO something else, right? So, but anyway, it's not a bad load. You know, it's what is that? It's actually nearly $5 a mile. Yeah, it's almost $5 a mile. So if I can find just anything really coming back to Vegas, I'd be very, 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 very happy. What is going on with Swift over here? He got his four ways on. Tomorrow after we get unloaded, we're gonna be exchanging. Actually, Parker is not even gonna be in his yard, um, so I'm just gonna go in there and swap trailers, and we're gonna be looking for a load on the way back. You know, if we find something, great. If we don't, that's okay too. I parked like across the street from where I'm delivering. I didn't want to park in their yard because it looks like it's pretty busy. Maybe it gets pretty busy, but I mean I'm gonna be up early anyway, so maybe I should have parked over there. But it's okay. Um, we're gonna end the video here. You know, for the past couple weeks, right? I'm gonna end the video in this note. For the past couple weeks, the Vegas market in the open deck has been it hasn't been good. So uh, I'm very scared for the future of trucking open deck in the Las Vegas area. I don't know. I haven't really ventured out too far, you know, even into like say the California, Southern California area. But yeah, the Las Vegas is just not. It's just not there, you know. So hopefully that changes soon, man. I don't like the direction. So luckily, good thing is like Parker is telling me he's doing okay. You know, he's doing okay out here in Salt Lake. So uh, something is happening with the area. You know what I mean? Maybe the freight in Salt Lake is changing. I have no idea, man. All I know is that like ever since I started trucking as an owner operator, it's like Salt Lake has always been crap. And when I was driving for David, every time I had to deliver in Salt Lake, I had to deadhead out of here every time, go to Vegas, you know. So I have no idea what's going on. But then again, Parker also has like some permanent customers and things like that, and so that's probably why he's also doing good along with that. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna end the video here. We will see you guys in the